Hello and welcome to the Boost Over Ball podcast, your go-to source for all things Rocket League, with your hosts, K-Cube, Quilly, and Red. So lean forward, lock in, and get ready to go Boost Over Ball.
Here we are.
Pizza in hand.
Mid-pizza.
Mid-pizza ing.
Do you have a pizza style that you're preferential to now since we're pizza talking?
You see, I'm from Jersey, so there's so many different kinds of pizzas. You can go with a white pizza, it's awesome. A buffalo chicken pizza does.
Let me reiterate. Pizza vehicle, like deep dish, New York style, and pizza. You know what I mean?
Deep dish pizza is just soup.
Because there's Chicago deep dish,
just marinara sauce or soup.
That's true, because there's Chicago deep dish, which I wholeheartedly agree is soup, and have said that, and then there's Detroit style deep dish, which is just thicker crust.
That makes it more of a pizza.
Yeah.
It's also kind of just like a bread bowl holding marinara or tomato sauce.
So does folding a taco in half does folding a pizza in half make it a taco?
No. I don't get into any of that hearsay. Like, is a hot dog a sandwich?
Is it a taco?
No, it's a hot dog. It's a hot dog. It's its own category of being. It exists on its own plane.
But if you put a hot dog in a tortilla, does that make it a taco?
Yes.
Interesting.
It's American taco.
Because mine's it's the carbs. Right? It's like a sandwich has carbs on two sides. A taco is three sides, and then like a panini, or no, not a panini, like a calzone is all four, or like a hot pocket.
Mm-hmm. Who'd have thought? There was a Big Bang several billions of years ago,
and here we are talking about bread.
What bread variants make what word?
Cereal is also a soup.
Allegedly, some could say. Yeah, I don't know. I choose to keep my mental sanity and not get into those types of discussions. But with that said, buffalo chicken pizza. If you've never had it from Jersey, do you have buffalo chicken pizza there? What is like? Is it just like?
Yeah,
I'm confused with how pizza works around the country, because obviously
pizza toppings you can have whatever you want, right? Like buffalo chicken pizza is chicken bacon ranch pizza.
Yeah. Are you talking Domino's though, or are you talking like a pizza place?
Both.
Domino's isn't pizza.
No, so I would contend it's like it's not gonna kill you. Occasionally a Domino's is not gonna be like the Domino's we had in Raleigh. I don't know why. That maybe it's just because we were so tired and hungry, but that was not bad.
Domino's?
Yeah, me, you, and Pandy smashed a pizza.
Yeah.
And then we all went and took a nap.
We all went our separate ways.
Yep.
That was an experience. Domino's, it literally has to be life or death situation that I'm eating Domino's, i.e. that one when we were so exhausted. Domino's is just I think a monstrosity to be called pizza. I think it's the same thing as a hot dog isn't a sandwich, it's its own category of food. Domino's is its own category of food.
I would accept that.
Fuck Domino's. Sorry if Domino's ever plays on sponsoring us, but fuck Domino's.
That's crazy. That being said, we would be sponsored.
I will change my opinion for money. I am a chill through and through.
Miller Lite hit us up. Anyway, we good to go?
Yes, sir. Let's get after it.
Hello and welcome back to the Boost Over Ball podcast. To listeners new and old, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Kyle, K-Cube in the top left, and I'm joined by Quilly, who's in the bottom right. 2 out of the 3 for today ain't bad, but Quilly, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Very tired, And if you count this is job number 3 of the day. So we're just grinding. We're living the dream, but excited to talk some carball. Some interesting things happened this weekend. You thought NA was in shambles based off of how things are going? Europe is another beast with how things are going, and yeah, we got a lot to talk about that, so it'll be very interesting.
We certainly do, but we've got a massive show today because RLCS is back in full swing. We're closing the chapter on Open 4 with the full debrief from Sam, APAC, and EU. Plus, the road to crowning our Open 5 champions is now underway. The top 16 for OCE, SSA, MENA, and NA are locked in. We've got plenty of thoughts on how these teams are looking heading into the group stages of these matches and much more. Let's get underway. So we're going to start with Open 4, and we're going to recap the, Sam, APAC, and then finish off with EU for the teams that have finished off their Open 4 now. So starting off in Sam, our teams that have made the top 8 through the upper bracket are Furia, Team Secret, MIBR, and Notorious. And through the lower bracket, we have Nova Drift, Dream Esports, and BS Plus Competition, and Big Odes. So, not really any surprises in my personal opinion. BS Plus Competition lose to Secret in group stage, but for the most part, your Furia, your Secret, your MIBR, and your BS Plus Competition are your final four. MIBR takes down Team Secret 4-1 in the semifinals, and Furia takes down BS Plus Competition 4-0. And then in the grand finals, Furia is able to take down MIBR 4-1. So is Furia back? At least just talking about Sam. What do you think about that?
I feel like these just go back and forth, but definitely Furia looked a lot better than they have of late, or not even of late, of going on almost a year and a half now. So it's good to see that old Furia performance out of them, where none of the series were relatively close at all. I think they dropped. I think you said max one game in every series.
One game in playoffs. They swept Secret. They swept BS Plus Competition and dropped 1 to MIBR in the grand finals.
Yeah. So they are literally just firing on all cylinders. So maybe that chemistry and cohesion's coming together. But the real story, Secret is just in shambles, dude. Going from the miracle run of the century to seeing what they're going to be pulling out this season, it is complete shambles. They're going to get the bad teams. They're taken down, and any team that has any form of notoriety, i.e. MIBR or Team or Furia, they are getting absolutely smoked out. So that's unfortunate. So it's literally looking like it's just going to be a Furia MIBR flip-flopping between 1-2 all season, if not Furia now taking that one spot dominantly.
So Furia dropped one game in Swiss in round 1. They dropped one game to Big Odes in the upper bracket semis. They then swept Secret, swept BS Plus Competition, and dropped one game to MIBR. So they dropped one game in each stage of the competition and are able to finish off their fantastic run to become your Sam Open number 4 champions. So secondly, and kind of the last talking point I have on Sam, how secure do you think Furia and MIBR are in their spots for the Paris Major and for Worlds?
As of right now, I don't know what to compare it to. I'd say they're about as secure as a baby car seat right now. As secure as you're going to get. You're making sure that thing's safe, locked, and loaded because, like I said, Team Secret, they are not showing any signs of life. Nothing to even remotely think that there is a possibility. So until things change, yeah, it's seeming like it's just a 2-horse race.
Yeah, it's tough because when you have 2 or less region spots, your best teams are just going to kind of poach your talent, right? So the Team Secret run that we saw in Raleigh is not going to be as possible because Furia took their best player and their coach, right, in the off season. That's what these teams are going to do, and that's what it's going to be like for them. So it's going to be tough sledding for your Secrets, for your BS Plus competitions. But I think I think the Esports World Cup really is what allows these rosters to continue to be org backed. I think that's really going to be what it is, right? That's why your BS Plus competition is going to pick up a team potentially. Same with Secret, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. But congratulations to Furia there on their Open number 4 win. You ready to jump over to APAC?
Yes, sir. Oh, even shocking here too, I believe.
It certainly was, and that's what I was going to say. This is kind of where the shock and awe starts. So our 4 teams making the top 8 through the upper bracket are 4 guys: TSM, Kinotrope, and North Star Gaming. And through the lower bracket, we have Godspeed, Dream Station, Jungle Juicers, and 86. Moving into our top 4, we have Kinotrope sweeping Dream Station 4-0, and we have TSM falling to North Star Gaming in 7. TSM falling to North Star 3-4. And in our grand finals, we have Kinotrope taking down North Star Gaming in 7 to win their first regional of the season. I also believe they did not take one last season as well, as the TSM roster of Sphinx, Catalysm, and oh my god, not Mektos.
Ed?
What?
Kevin?
No, the last year's roster.
Oh, of TSM?
It's not Mektos. Why is this killing me?
Are you talking about Sphinx's teammate? Sphinx and Catalysm's teammate?
Yes. It was
Wasn't it Kaka? No? Am I
no.
completely off? How can I think of it?
Oh my gosh.
They were such a fun. Was it a Spanish plaplayer? They had to go back.
It was a U.S. player when they were on Elevate.
I can't think of it.
Catalysm.
Season 25. All right, 25. TSM. Was it TSM? No, TSM was in.
When they were verted. When they were Sosa, it was Sosa. I cannot believe I missed the 5-head. I'm so mad at myself on that one.
What? The 5-head's Catalysm.
Yeah, you're right. What a day! What a day! What a day! But a big win here for Kinotrope. That Kinotrope roster being Furlash, Cash from EU, and Maxu, who is now considered a APAC region player. But a huge result for North Star Gaming, that roster of Lunar, Taha, and Pengoli. So congratulations to them on making a grand final, and that really puts TSM kind of in 3rd, 4th place in the region after one regional. But you know they'll have to look to bounce back as they try to regain from this loss.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see them not doing that. But Kinotrope is obviously, if there's any team that's gonna do it, it would have to be Kinotrope, and here they are doing it. Is there any other teams you think that have like any inkling of a chance, or do you think it's just TSM with like that plus 1,000 odds? Kinotrope always looming.
I don't like. I mean, there's teams that we see like Jungle Juicers or Godspeed or 3 Rats. These are kind of like teams that we see kind of in and around like our top 8, but realistically, I don't really see anybody that is kind of going to usurp them. Maybe a North Star Gaming taking Kinotrope to 7, but I don't. Realistically, I think it's between TSM or Kinotrope.
APAC is Asia, right? That's like East Asia?
Yeah.
I'm looking at these rosters, and I'm seeing a lot. I'm guessing they're all there on student visas, but this is crazy how many NA teams or any NA players I'm seeing there.
There's a lot of
stars, 2 NA, Jungle Juice. Oh, not Jungle Juice. 86 is 3 NA players.
I think a lot of them have like their families have moved there, so they've been there for I believe it's more than 2 seasons to be a non like transfer player with the 2/3 rule. So
I know because I remember like when this rule first came into place, he was saying like it's literally $30 to get a student visa somewhere. So I don't know if maybe that type of stuff was in play, but
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of U.S. flags and Canadian flags.
Yep. So, and then before we jump over to EU, we have to address the new logos that are in Liquipedia. I know, Quilly, you posted it in the RLCS discussion. Liquipedia said, all right, everyone, the Liquipedia community has decided that we're done with esports teams doing rebrands and logo revamps. We've taken matters into our own hands and put our finest people to work to give teams a final rebrand once and for all. Our wikis never looked this good. and it's all hand-drawn versions of the logos, but based on what they are.
Yeah, they did it with like, I can't even guess. It looks like 80 to 100 odd different orgs. Obviously, a lot of them being in Rocket League. So we did get like a good handful of them with the fun ones. The likes of General Mates, the Karmic Corp, even Virtus Pro. It seems like it's mostly NA and EU teams. The ones that they posted specifically are NA and EU. But yeah, it was a very funny thing. This is the time of year when we get to see the fun side of some companies, and this is a rather fun way for them to do it, so it's pretty cool and pretty fun. And obviously it's not going to be a long-term thing, but in the meantime we get to enjoy it. Whoever got to sit there and draw these, because they're all literally just like in MS Paint. It looks like each and every single one of them, someone just went to MS Paint with an either recreating the logo completely or doing their own spin-off, because like
Vitality's is a B.
Yeah, there's just straight up a B. NRG is just the word energy, like ENERGY. And like SSG is like a full-on spaceship, not like close to their astronaut logo. Dignitas just a cute little ghost-looking guy. The Carmine Corp is literally just a blue circle and a K. Like all these types of things. So if you wanted to see all that, I'd completely recommend to go check out on the Liquipedia net. That's their exact @ on X. You could see where they posted just like a square image of literally all of them, including their own logo. But yeah, it looks pretty funny, and just it may be a silly thing, but just silly things like that. It's a good way. It's a good way to get your brand out there. Obviously, the Wikipedia don't really need to get their brand out there, but just get the people talking and just have some fun while doing it.
I would also like to point out, and this is our yearly reminder for this purpose. Hey, Quilly, what day is it right now in the U.S.?
March 31st.
And the EU people are, what, 6 hours ahead of us? So
roughly.
In preparation for tomorrow, that being April Fool's Day, April 1st, I would imagine that this is what they did, which is awesome to see. I'm very intrigued to see if Rocket League's going to do anything for April Fool's Day. In the past, they've loved to do stuff for that, whether that's like the 3-card game mode or the vegetable, rank icons, or, think like the backwards game mode, things like that. So we shall wait and see what happens with that. But it's very cool. It's I think it's a fun twist. But again, don't be debated. It's almost April Fool's Day. Thankfully, we're not in a roster change window because that was a terrible time to be on Twitter for that, getting debated everywhere. But happy April Fool's Day to everyone, because that's it'll be April 2nd when you hear this. If you're listening via audio only. So here we are. But are you ready to get into the pandemonium that is EU?
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one.
Oh my god!
But yeah, there is some interesting things to get into.
So we're gonna run through the results through the top 8, the quarter or the semifinals, the grand final, and then we'll talk about group stage and our thoughts and all that stuff. So our teams making the top 8 through the upper bracket are Vitality, Inner Circle, Ninjas in Pajamas, and Synergy. Yeah, that's a. I'll say that again for people in the back. Vitality, Inner Circle, Ninjas in Pajamas, and Synergy. And our teams making the top 8 through the lower bracket are Carmine Corp, Cloud Esport, Man City, and KDOP Corp. KDOP Corp, Man City, Cloud Esport, and Carmine Corp. Then from there, moving into our top 4, we have Ninjas in Pajamas taking on Carmine Corp, in which Ninjas win 4-3 in Game 7. You have Vitality then sweeping Manchester City to make it to the grand finals, where Vitality sweeps Ninjas in Pajamas. Vitality are your Open 4 EU champions. So, some notable misses that we'll talk about here, and then we'll kind of go through some stuff. No Gentlemates, no GK, no BSK, no Novo, no Game Ward. Like, these are teams that we've seen in and around before, but my God, what are your thoughts?
Again, things have been shaken up. Will this continue? We will find out. But in terms of this, the top dogs did not look like it, and it seemed like Vitality kept all of that momentum from Boston, and they kept running, as opposed to the champions in the Gentlemates did the complete opposite, where they flamed out rather quickly, losing to K Corp and then getting.
Well, they got swept by City to drop to lowers.
Yeah. And can we talk about how great Seiko looked? Seiko, a man on a mission to reestablish his name as that guy. Former rookie of the year, former world champion, former just cool, calm, collected French dude. Seiko the GOAT.
So that Man City Mate series, Man City wins 3-1, 2-0, 4-1. Dominant performance. Seiko was a man on fire, like you mentioned, trying to prove to people that he won the roster move.
And he quite literally did, because GK not making it even close, losing to Vitality Rejects and Co., as well as the Man City teams taking out everyone on their way to making a top four. So, yeah, a good position for them, especially being in a tiebreaker to make it to Boston, being literally this close in that tiebreaker. I don't think the tiebreaker, did it go to 7, or I think they got blown. Did the Man City get blown out by GK? I can't remember that far back.
I will.
That they had the tiebreaker though. I don't remember the exact score. I think my brain wants to say 4-1 GK.
I'm going.
Or it was just a really bad game 7. It was one or the other.
I think it was. It went 6. GK won in 6.
Yeah, so it wasn't. I mean, it's not bad, but still, you'd like it to be closer. But yeah, but they were tied going into, or they were actually leading, I believe, with the 5 spot going into that, and then GK did just enough to tie the whole thing, and Man City just fallen out, and now those two teams have made a swap, and one team is running, one team is stumbling, falling, and any other synonym you want to use for that, but. We see this from time to time. It could be the honeymoon phase, or it could just be Seiko purely playing on hate and rage and it working for him. We'll see if these teams can continue, because we see teams flame out all the time after one great run. But I think it'll be rather interesting. And yeah, Man City's dominance is my main takeaway, and it's crazy to say with all of these top teams all these teams. Just looking at the top 8 that qualified, just looking back at it right now. You see Vitality, Carmine Corp, Man City on one side, and you're like, wow, that's normal. And then you just see Inner Circle, Cloudy Sport, K-Dom Core. It's definitely not names that we have seen literally at all this season.
Yeah. I mean, looking at it, it's rather unfortunate that GK is going to not have their own, because this group, WIP, Cloudy Sport, Inner Circle, and BSK, someone has to come out of there. But realistically, it should probably be GK, but they drop a series to Chippy Chips, and here we are. But GK doing their best Gen G impersonation, right? They drop 3-2 to K-Dop Corp in the upper bracket quarters. They then drop in the lower bracket quarters to Calogeras. I don't really Calogeras is Matt, Vady, and Osoft, a German player. You shouldn't be, your GK, you shouldn't be losing. Little bit unfortunate for Mates, as they, Gentle Mates get swept by Man City, and then they run into Carmine Core in the lower brackets, who probably shouldn't have been there, but Synergy is able to kind of pull off a crazy upset on them in overtime to qualify. But if you're gonna be the best, you have to beat the best, in my personal opinion.
Which team are you talking about? My bad. I blanked for a second.
Mates. If you're gonna be the best, you have to beat the best.
I mean, they did on land.
Yeah.
Outside of that, not so much. But I mean, Archie, we've seen, is one of those players that he's quite literally a land player through and through. He shows up and just dominates in person. He's never been known for his online spectacle, for lack of a better word. He's never been one to just show up and take over opens, outside of that one time, the miracle friendship run from GK last year. But yeah, They definitely flamed out a lot earlier than they probably would have liked. I didn't get to see any of their matches. I did see a handful of EU matches this weekend, but theirs unfortunately were not because they went out so much earlier than I expected. But yeah, teams dropping like flies when they shouldn't have been. It's crazy. And again, to bring up the GK one again, Jordy got her first time on mainstream getting to cast in the new red zone style thing, and unfortunately for her, Appjack and GK got eliminated rather quickly. So it's another unfortunate set of events. I'm assuming, didn't have a fun time watching that, but maybe they bounce back. And if she's back on, assuming she is, because I don't think she did horrible. I don't think she did bad at all. She's an interesting commentator in the scene. So assuming she comes back, hopefully GK will put up a better performance for her to be a little bit happier for, rather than an early bounce.
One would hope.
One would hope.
But
for her sake, she's such a nice person. Hopefully, for her sake.
No kidding. But this kind of throws a wrench in some things for EU, right? So now Synergy, Inner Circle, Ninjas in Pajamas, basically everyone who's made our top 8 is now ahead of GK on points for the Paris Major. Not for Worlds, but for the Paris Major. That puts them in a big hole. KDOP Corp, Cloudy's, big points for KDOP Corp, big points for, Synergy, Inner Circle, and Man City, importantly, making a top 4 here with Seiko, and I think that they will only continue to kind of improve some of their results. And then, enough can't be said about Vitality, right? Perfect through the playoff bracket. They dropped 1 game in Swiss, 3 in groups, and 2 of them were to Man City. So they just looked really good.
Let's talk about Man City some more, just a little bit. I will say Edgeby also looked insane. He was peaking. And I think Acro, watching that last series for them, single-handedly kind of threw. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, it was 4-0, so, realistically, what were they going to do anyway? But maybe take a game or two. But
we see reverse sweeps all happen all the time now. So, nothing could ever be counted out. But, yeah. But the performance from Seiko and Edgeby, I wanted to also shout out Edgeby. He was doing some pretty nuts things and showing why he was a key contributor into getting that tiebreaker last season. And yeah, hopefully for Tempo, obviously right now the trade's not looking too good for them, but hopefully they can figure it out and next Open bounce back and have a much better performance.
For their sake, I hope that they can as well. Anything else that you wanted to mention on EU before we make the jump over to our Aussie friends for Open 5?
Do you want to mention Zay tweet?
I was going to talk about it at the end.
All right, we can jump. We can wait for it. All right.
Just because I don't know how long the conversation on that's going to be. I don't know, what it's
depression, death, and despair.
Yep. But moving into Open number 5, we'll start out in OCE. And our teams making the top 16 from Group A are Power, the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, F1Z6 Gaming, Nerve, Team Abysmal, You Not a Champ, You a Clown, 8, Kitschy Daggers. And from Group B, we have Wildcard, Take Flight, Heartless Esports, Bills, Nazi, Unk, 67 Burgers, and Team Rasian. So I cannot believe that there's a team that's 67 burgers.
What do you expect? We're letting kids into these things. It's just going to be brain rot.
Yeah. But
I don't know what the burgers means. Does the burger have a relevance, or is it just to get 6-7 in there?
I have no idea. The world may never know.
I don't know how old these guys are. How old are they that they're doing this? 17-year-old, all right. Can see that happening. Relic? 17, all right. Fairs, can't argue that. Kraid? 20. All right, Kraid, you're too old. You're too young for this. You're pushing.
He should be on Unk.
Oh gosh. We gave you. How old is the Unk team? You know what? Now I'm just gonna start age checking.
That's
doesn't have a birthday.
Hakeem.
Cabo. 24. All right, he's valid in the Unk status.
Yeah.
Bubs.
at a whopping... I'm having red internet right now. It's not loading. Does not tell me. All right, so one of them's 24, so they definitely qualify as UNC.
Yeah. Oh, well. But realistically speaking, at least in my eyes, it's power, it's wild card. There's then a bit of a gap. There's the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, and then there's the rest of OCE. Do you kind of share the same thoughts and opinions on that one?
For which one?
So in my eyes, there's power, there's wild card, there's a bit of a gap. There's the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. There's a really big gap, and then there's the rest of OCE. Do you kind of agree with that statement?
Yeah, that's pretty fair. I mean, Canterbury, I do think it's not a far gap, but it's definitely a sizable gap that you can see. But I mean, they did win. They did win an Open, so you got to respect that. But also, Power was playing with house money at that point, so maybe they took the foot off the gas.
There we go.
Something like
First try.
I'm a poet, some would say. But yeah, it's hopefully as Power all the way, just for our little bias sake. But it's a 2-person race, and it is interesting.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But if you're picking a winner right now, off the top of your head, who are you picking?
Power all day.
Me as well.
The bias speaks.
It lives on. Then moving over into SSA, we now again know the top 16 teams, and from Group A we have Bro Crow Crows, Five Fears, Death Cloud Esports, Rounds, Unity, Bang Bang Boys, 2-1, the Punishers, and Stanislas. And from Group B we have Pioneers, Astronic Esports, Team HSK, Team E1, Synthesis, White Rabbit Gaming, Looking for Organization, and The Wave. So, kind of the same group of teams that we've seen are kind of at the top. But again, similar to OCE, similar to APAC, it kind of seems like it's Pioneers, it's Five Fears, it's a gap, and then the rest. Do you again agree with my thinking there, that it Pioneers, Five Fears, a gap, the rest?
Yeah, it's the minor regions are kind of just like built like that. I mean, unfortunately, but yeah, it's unfortunate, but yes, it's a pretty fair assessment.
I mean, it's good to see White Rabbit Gaming back. That was a team that we saw pretty frequently before the import wave came through. But they unfortunately don't follow the current SSA meta, which is 2 South Africans and a Spaniard. So they they're not in that super high group like Pioneers or Five Fears or Bro Crow Crows or etc. Death Cloud, Astronic. Astronic is not a Spaniard though, so. Again, if you're picking a winner from SSA, who are you taking?
Yeah, I want to give Pioneers a shout because it'd be so cool to see Lawler coaching on LAN. Give him that extra content boost, or let him get like his inside perspective on it, because I think he'd give a rather unique view, because he's a well-spoken and very in the sphere of content creation. So I want to give it to Pioneers just for fun.
Okay. And then to be different, I'll go Five Fears. But again, I want to see Lawler do well, but had to be a little bit different, just because we were both the same for power. So I figure try to switch it up a little bit. Moving across to MENA, our teams making the top 16 are R8 Esports, Falcons, Rafa Esports, DAS, Nothing, AFK, Sleeping, and Rural. And then for Group B, we have Team Stallions, Twisted Minds, Everything, Exciting, One, Alyom W, Ana B, Alishi, We Don't Know, The First, and DFT. So, a lot of the same teams that we see, making their reappearance here in our top 16. But the big storylines heading into this one as opposed to some of our other regions, are can Twisted and Falcons bounce back? Will we see another Twins and TRK-less grand final for the second time? Was Open number 4 just a fluke? Do you think that Falcons or Twisted Minds will take this one?
I think definitely it's hard to think otherwise. I know obviously last Open says otherwise, but both 3-0'd pretty dominantly. Falcons did go to 5 in that last in that round 3, but a 3-0 nonetheless. Not all 3-0s are created equal, but it seems like they are relocked in. Probably it's a good reality check for them because, like, obviously losing to land teams like that, you can chalk up to other things, but getting not neither of your teams making grand finals completely in an Open, that one's a little bit harder to stomach, especially with how dominant the Twins have been for the past. What did we say? The Twins or TRK haven't been in not in a final since
Ever.
Mina,
Ever.
since Mina ever.
Yeah.
So I think that was a pretty big reality check for them there that they really got to lock in and not throw, for lack of a better term. But yeah, that they did so far. They still have plenty of time to prove us otherwise, but in the meantime, they're looking pretty solid. They're looking pretty great.
I would tend to agree. And so I'm also interested, in this is probably a bigger off-season conversation, but RA and Stallions, Abdullah Ghazi, Nush, Truk, Twiz, M7MD, there's a lot of Mina talent that's out there that's not on the Falcons or Twisted Minds roster. So I would have to imagine that the Monkey Moon roster move is probably only a 1 season long thing. So we will have to wait and see, what happens with that. But I would imagine that, they could look to pull someone from R8 or Stallions on that front. So, but like you said, I think it's kind of more of a fluke as well. I think that, we'll see. If I had to have my guess, probably both the Twins and TRK in a grand finals again. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. So we'll have to stay tuned. And I'm still not entirely sure what the plan is. I think that for the time being, the MENA region games are going to be played on EU servers because most of the MENA servers were in the United Arab Emirates, and with everything that's going on in the Middle East, I think that those servers are not online right now, so I'm not sure if they're going to change anything, if they're going to put them in Saudi or what's going to happen there, but we will have to wait and see again on that one, just like everything else.
Yeah, I think I heard so far that it was going to be EU ping, which I don't think. What is it? Was Rice playing on 120 when he was in EU?
Yeah,
Mina?
120-ish, yeah.
So I'm assuming it works. I'm going to assume it works the same vice versa.
I would too.
But as long as everyone's on that, I mean, honestly, Falcons might just pick up and go to EU. just get God tier ping, just infinite money glitch their way there. But no. Obviously not an ideal thing, but we'll see how it plays out. Kind of got to play with the cards we're dealt here. And yeah, it'll be something. It'll be a sight.
Yeah, it certainly will. But last but certainly not least, you ready to jump over to NA and talk about some of the stuff that happened there?
Yeah, SSG decided to raise my cortisol level this weekend, but they survived. But yeah, we can talk about that.
So our teams that are making the top 16 from Group A are Virtus Pro, Shopify Rebellion, Fellas, Space Station Gaming, Gen G, Southampton Academy, Next to New Esports, and Kraken Seas. And from Group B, we have Dignitas, Foot, One, NRG, Strictly Business, Lob, No Dope, and The Immigrants, with some notable misses of All-Wheel Drive, or AWD, and M80 not making it out of Swiss. So what are your initial thoughts on our top 16 here, and how do you think that everyone's favorite teams did?
I'm right now. I'm trying to find it. The link in the bless you. Link in the doc with the last Open.
Oh, did it?
There it is, Open 5. There's just a tab for it at the top. That's helpful. Virtus Pro looking good again, taking down SSG, the reigning champs, in 5. Pretty good for them, a pretty good showing. SSG going to 5 with Mizu after losing to Virtus Pro. did not look good, but they bounced back after that. Luckily, they won that 5 against Mizu's team, who put up one hell of a performance. Unfortunately, got 0-3 in the process, though. Their best performance, they lost to 2 random teams and somehow went to 5 with SSG. So I don't know if that loss really affected SSG, that they almost dropped 2 straight, but yeah, that was way closer than it should have been. But yeah, outside of that, I think like Team Silenced and M80 are like the 2 teams that you'd expect a better performance. Even you'd expect a better performance from Little Step Bros. They went 1-9 on the weekend, so not an ideal showing. But it's easy to talk about the losers, kind of, because they don't have anything to play, or they're not playing at all. So, the team won. They did. I will say they did have favorable matchups. Only one of the teams they beat made it out in Lob. Yeah, outside of that, everything looked as advertised, as normal. Outside of usual slow start though, but Dignitas sweeping Energy.
Dignitas also, one thing I'd like to mention, with a 5 Buchholz score in the Swiss, right? They beat 3 teams that made it into the top 8, right? Energy, who finished 4th, 1 who finished 3rd, and No Dope, who finished 7th. So that's crazy. It's one of the highest I've ever seen. Like,
yeah, it's been 3s or 0s. That's mostly what you'll see from the 3-0 teams. A 5, wow.
They perfect swept, I can't say perfect swept, but they swept Energy in round 1. Which, I mean, hey, Energy starts slow. Like, that's the knock, right? But here they are. They lose 1, and then they sweep Zookeepers, AWD, and Spacebound Cowboys 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. So, man, but I hate to say it, because I don't want to talk bad about the team, because I like the players, but can we realistically expect anything from Genji in the group stage?
It's hard to say yes, because by gosh, do they look shaky? Not at times, most of the time. But
in every other phase besides Swiss, it seems like they seem shaky.
Yeah, that true. So I mean, we really will see the team next week. They did look great in their first Swiss, and then looked horrible after. And the horrible is an understatement, unfortunately, because Rise is someone you don't want to see losing like that. But yeah, they did bounce back, and getting a good 3-1 over Next to New, who has looked surprising and shocking, and especially in the last Open. Not as great this Open, and also beating Team Silence, who obviously isn't a top dog, but isn't a team to be slept on. So again, a good Swiss for them, not a bad Swiss as compared to the last one. That was a great Swiss for them, but yeah, it really matters on how they perform in those best of 7s, because it seems like best of 5s, with less pressure on the line, with more lives, they seem to play better than everyone. But yeah, next week will be the real challenge for them. Can't really make any decisions until then.
I would tend to agree. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what can happen for Genji if, they were releasing some tweets about Raw Greg was not Raw Greg. I'm sorry, but they were releasing some tweets about the performances, about everything that's going on, and like they're all putting in the time, they're all doing the work. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with them. I just feel like they're not consistent enough at all to kind of make it through, which is unfortunate to say, because again, it's like, we'd love to see we want to see Rise, like we wanted to see Rise on land, right? Not struggling in regionals, but that's where we are.
Yeah, NA, and with the one meme, it's like gonna go try and fight. It's like, damn, they got hands. NA got hands. They're fighting back. Yeah, he was great in the EU up until he wasn't. And then he was that for sure number 2 team. I don't know. It's hard to say who was like the leader of that team. I feel like it's easy to say him based off the personality and how much more vocal he is compared to the likes of Nobu and Atomic. Atomic's not known for his leadership, and Nobu's he's a one's main, so he's just focused on him. Unless it's drinking water or scoring goals, he's not doing it. But I'd like to imagine Rise was the leading force in that team. But yeah, I do think maybe they could make a run. Maybe they could make a miracle happen.
We've seen it from Gen G before.
Yeah, it's hard to believe with how things have been going time after time after time after time after time after time after time. But yeah, I mean,
it was wrong,
maybe,
Greg. I was right.
Maybe I'm pretty sure he was very disappointed with their team. I don't want to correct and be wrong, but I was pretty sure it was Raw Greg who was very disappointed with the performance. But he's very vocal about it. I mean, not really much things he could say good, but yeah, he's very vocal about things. But yeah, we can only hope for the best for them. Maybe they can bounce back, or maybe they just make a great LCQ run and they still somehow find their way there. I doubt it, because I feel like LCQ is really cutthroat and hard to, because you really have to go perfect for that, and that's so far away to even start talking about. But yeah, all right.
I mean, it may be LCQ or bust, especially if they can't make it out of groups in the second open. Like they're cooked almost at that point.
Yeah.
So.
Or they could just NRG and just win both.
That would be ridiculous, but hey,
Could you imagine if we get an entire split without NRG winning a championship?
I don't see it happening.
I know, but imagine though, that'd be nuts. Right now, we're on pace to see NRG and K Corp don't win any opens. The absolute twilight zone of the century.
We're in the upside down now.
Literally. Oh, what was the... Did you go over the stat for K Corp not making finals?
No.
This is the first grand finals in this is the first in EU. This is the bounce back to EU. The first grand final since 2024 to not include K Corp.
They're pretty good at the Rocket League.
And that literally just grand finals. They have been in every EU grand final since 2024. That is nuts. And they just missed out on one now. And they still got top 4.
But they're not top 1.
Or top 2. Hell yeah.
But again, I'll put you on the spot. Who's winning NA Open 5?
Strictly easy pick. You know what? Shopify Rebellion. We're back.
NRG.
The boys are going on a heater.
I don't think they are. But hey, you never know. That's why they play the games.
Hey, any given Sunday.
That's kind of the problem. They struggled to make it to the Sunday. And when they do make it, they're not there for the Sunday.
God damn it. I'm going to cry.
But that is it for NA. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about any of the regions that we've previously discussed before we talk about Vatira's viral tweet?
No. SSG, hopefully they got it locked in. Imagine they went back to back. That'd be pretty nuts. The Zach streak could continue, but NA is going to be rather interesting. I mean, hopefully it's as interesting as EU's bracket was with the amount of big names going out early. But yeah, I think it'll be fun.
I think it will indeed. But Vatira tweeted yesterday afternoon in Eastern time, so it would have been yesterday night for people in the EU. But he tweeted, and I'll read it out in its entirety here. I think it's time for things to change regarding Rocket League and Epic Games. I haven't spoken out in a while, but the game situation is dire. What keeps Rocket League alive is esports, thanks to its intensity, its ease of understanding, but above all, the incredible individual skill level of all professional players. You know where I'm going with this, bots and DDoS. We've had to create Discord servers just to try and play competitively, but it's not a miracle solution. It's complicated to manage, not easy to access, and obviously we can't gather players from all over the world. The problem is that overall players' skill level is declining and our playtime is being cut in half or even by 3. Epic Games, do something right now. To all my content creator friends, it's not normal for you to either have to put up with this People aren't watching Rocket League anymore. Streamers are potentially losing their communities and could lose their jobs. It's time to realize that we can't wait any longer, or else Rocket League will end up like Rocket Racing. Let's rally the community and stand as one. Hashtag RL needs changes. So,
I mean, last time we spoke about something like this, it was a Vaki tweet. It seems like he is just like the messiah of Rocket League, and when he speaks, we listen, and that's when the whatever hashtag he puts out is whatever. We'll take the RL Twitter scene by storm, and hashtag RL needs change or RL need changes. I feel like we could have done better with punctuation, but it is also
not his first language.
It's French translation, I believe. Does it show like that? Can I look at show original? See what it looks like. Oh, never mind. It is hashtag RL need changes. So it is not his first language. It's good that someone's speaking out. I don't know if it's a new dev or someone, but they did quote reply saying directly that this is being focused on, but he did follow it up by saying like, you're responding to me saying something. You're not just saying something. There's such a lack of communication and the struggle to have to just to try to practice, let alone just grind. Like he said in the tweet, like they're cutting time that they're playing. And think about it at your job. If you have something that like a craft you have to perfect and you are being hindered, it's definitely going to affect your performance. And he's saying that he's being affected by it greatly, and so is everyone else. And it's hard to say that they're not, because it's just such a problem, and it just really sucks that nothing concrete has been done or even said to change outside of we're bringing anti-cheat. But anti-cheat, quite literally, from the day anti-cheat was announced, it was already told that they already know the workaround for it. So we're just stuck in between a rock and a hard place right now, and praying the suffering ends.
So, Scheist is the person you're referring to, quote tweeting, who's the product Sonic Studios, Epic Games for Rocket League is what his bio says. He said, "Hey Vatira, confirming I've seen this and that it's top of mind for us. We're actively working to get more anti-botting measures in ASAP alongside the upcoming release of Easy Anti-Cheat to make sure you guys can play without any disruptions." And Vatira replied, "Appreciate the response, but the fact remains that we've been seeing the same pattern for months, if not years. It's not normal for the community to have to show this much frustration just to get a few answers and so little action. Hopefully the arrival of Easy Anti-Cheat will resolve the issue for good. Nothing against you, obviously. I believe we all want Rocket League to be the best game ever." So, it is certainly interesting to see. And then Scheist replied, "Yep, agreed. I love this game too much and want the best for Rocket League, so I never take your passion negatively. Actions are stronger than words. We'll have more to share soon." So, it's a little bit sad that it takes Vatira, one of the foremost pros in the scene, to say something for something to change. But I also think we've seen that there's workarounds for Easy Anti-Cheat for players to continue doing, DDoSing or botting or whatever it is that they want to continue to do. However, I think that Easy Anti-Cheat will allow for the easier banning for players who are doing this. So I think that that's like realistically what's going to happen, right? So like I think about like Rust, and Rust has rampant cheaters, which I understand. But they use Easy Anti-Cheat, and those, if they have an active mod team or an active people that are, and again, that's asking a lot, right, for them to be active, but the bans can come through pretty quick. So it will be interesting to see what the policy is going to be on that in terms of bans. If you do it once, it's an instant VAC ban, or if it's like a hardware level ban, who knows? But until the Easy Anti-Cheat update comes out, I'm going to continue to try to be a little bit optimistic that it might bring some actual meaningful change at a high level to Rocket League. But we will have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah, and another little random update with like how the world of Rocket League is going right now. Jinxie is still streaming Rocket League to this day to 65,000 people on Twitch, 26,000 on YouTube. So the game, Jinxie's still in the scene. The game's still, I don't want to say growing, or if we're at like a really high plateau right now. It's one or the other, because we are not on the decline. maybe with the bot stuff, maybe a little bit of a dip right now, but yeah, that like the game, we're at such a good level right now that something needs to change to not keep the pace because it's hard to keep a peak going, but obviously there will be a dip eventually, but to just to keep like just to retain a little bit of that base of players that have been involved in now and
To just maintain
keep
the
the game
momentum.
going. Yeah, and it's hard to believe like with all the issues going on right now that as of right now it's not going to be maintained long term.
Yeah. So, but it's creators like Jinxie, it's creators like Beef, Jamaican Coconut, on and on and on and on and on. Fear, on and on and on and on. Tremendous amount of people. You mentioned Jordy's Widow, Nito, all the people that do the team streams, Reddles, the former pros, the current pros, all of the content creators. Like that's the reason that the game continues to be as popular as it is. Jinxie is a massive influx of creators for that. Massive creator for influx in audience, but like Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes takes an army, right? Like it's not all one person. Jinxie can brings in a lot, but the game had to be good for him to come and enjoy it, right? The community had to be welcoming to to give him some tips and to do the stuff that he's been able to do, right? Him and Squishy had to become friends for things to happen the way that they did, right? Like so, it's not just one person, but again, you cannot squander the opportunity that you have. There's not a ton of information out about it right now, but it's potential rumored out in the open ether that Disney is circling Epic Games after the recent layoffs to potentially purchase out Epic Games outright. But there's not a tremendous amount of information out about that because Disney's a part owner right now. I think like 7%.
They invested 1.5 billion into Epic like a couple years ago.
Yeah. So
that's my memory.
Yeah, you are correct. And for like the CGI or like the video parts of the Disney rides, Unreal Engine runs those for Disney. So they are a enormous power user of Unreal Engine from Epic. So and they've tried to be in the video game space before with Disney Infinite, and it did not go very well. They shut the game down. But
do they not own Kingdom Hearts?
They do. They tried to, but they outsourced the development of that for it. But they tried to develop their own for
that company.
For Disney Infinite. They did their like own in-house stuff, but it did not go very well for them. So that's why.
Was Disney Infinite the racing game?
Kind of. Disney Infinity, I'm sorry, is like the minifigure thing.
Their version of the Nintendo things.
Yeah.
What are the Nintendo things called now? Amiibos.
Yeah. You're right.
So the popularity of Amiibos and Nintendo stuff are like, hey, we got a bunch of IPs. We could do that.
Square Enix is formerly Square Co. is the maker of Kingdom Hearts.
Mm.
But if they're already using Unreal Engine, it just makes sense for them to own what they're doing, and they're such a massive company that they could bring a tremendous amount of collabs to Fortnite, to Rocket League, to continue on. So I don't know that it's necessarily all doom and gloom, because at one point we were like praising the fact that Epic was going to buy Rocket League, so until it happens, I would say that there's not a lot to talk about or anything to worry about or anything like that. But again, like we mentioned, it's we gotta talk the ball news, But is there anything else that you wanted to add about any of that stuff before we have our Quilly question for today?
Please fix the game, please. I mean, honestly, I'm in Champ 1 right now, pushing Champ 2, so I'm not seeing... I don't know if I've seen bots. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen bots in my territory yet. I know they're teetering, and you've seen a couple, and you're like 1 or 2 ranks above me.
I've seen more DDoSers than bots.
Yeah, that I also have not. I haven't seen any DDoSers actually, which I think I'm just getting beyond lucky. I don't know how I've dodged so many bullets. But yeah, I feel so sorry for everyone that has to deal with that or have dealt with it, because it just sucks. Because like we're looking, this game is our outlet to as infuriating as the game is, it's our outlet to enjoy some things, or some people's form of happiness, or just passing time, something to do, and to have that taken from you definitely sucks. So hopefully this is it's hard to say a soon solved problem because it's been going on for so goddamn long, but hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah, for sure. But
Uh,
you got a Quilly question for us?
Before we got the Quilly question, we're getting the Pokemon Fire Red update.
Oh, how could I forget? How could I forget?
I'm at 24 hours logged now. We've lost a little bit of time. We're not like keeping up as much because I'm not staying up till 2 a.m. every night just playing the game. So I'm at 24 hours logged. We got 5 badges, 45 captured in the Pokedex, not just seen. And the current starting 6 is Charizard, level 46, Jolteon, level 33, Snorlax, level 32, Dodrio, level 33, and I just picked up Gyarados. He's level 27 right now. I'm grinding him. He started at 21.
Water Onyx, let's go.
What is that?
It's
Water Onyx?
a joke, but it's just like reskinned Onyx was the joke, so Water Onyx.
Yeah. And then I have Chiding, but he is the
HM slave?
Yeah, he is. He's my cut and fly guy. So he stays around for that purpose.
Fair.
What's it? Was it Lapidus? That big turtle?
Lapras.
I'm trying to figure. I'm in like some town and he's like enclosed in an area and I don't know how to get him. I need to figure out how to get into that little enclosure and make him mine. I don't know yet, but I will figure it out. The game. I'm at a point where I'm getting lost. I've been to so many cities. I don't know what the next thing is supposed to be, but I have 5 badges, so I think that means I'm 3 away from beating the game.
Well, you get the 8 badges and then you can beat the Elite Four.
God damn it, the Elite Four is my biggest nightmare. From Shield, I just found my Shield for the Switch 1, and I've never beaten Cynthia in the Elite Four. Cynthia is my biggest nightmare. She's got some goddamn, I don't remember the Pokemon's been so long, but it has the most OP moveset of just like murk you in one shot or heal itself back completely, and it just farms that on me. So I'm hoping I don't have that same misfortune with the Pokemon Red, but that is where I am at currently. With that, Quilly question would be, if you could have one animal that isn't domesticated as a pet, what would it be?
Am I gonna get hurt if I?
No. This is the assumption that it becomes a pet and it's loyal to you.
Polar bear. They are
murder machines.
100%. Yep. That's a big cuddle missile. They look so fluffy. So fluffy.
You know, they do look so nice and lovely. Obviously, barring their ability to quite literally rip you limb by limb.
Yeah, or just like
by God, are
bop you to
creatures. Death. Literally, they are so powerful. But like
Unreal.
such a magnificent creature. Man, that's a great shout. That's also a large one. I was gonna say hammerhead shark just because I love hammerhead sharks. I could just watch them. They're
so cool.
They just the way they just float and that head that's just cutting through. It's like I see it as the most aerodynamic creature of all time. I mean, maybe the far wide eyes, maybe it gives a quite a little bit of drag, but I feel like that face has got to be cutting some air.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I just love hammerhead sharks, so that's my go-to. But like a more like outlandish one.
Did you see Oof said a giraffe? Because why not?
Because why not is some logic for real. Because why? Where are you going to store a giraffe? How big's your backyard? Are you in an apartment complex that can accommodate? Yo, imagine you're on a 3rd floor. It'd be like it's like you're in Animal Kingdom every day. You just walk outside and they're just like standing there waiting for food. You can feed them.
That's crazy. Yeah, or you could do like I think a red panda would be another one. Also,
can you consider them domesticatable?
Well, I think no, because they're technically endangered.
I think they'll be domesticated. Domesticated just means like they can survive.
They're endangered. Yep. But again, they look so cute.
They're able to be like brought into our society. Yeah, they're adorable. And it's also a good shot that I can say a regular panda bear.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Of full size. You have him sneeze, you get 1.5 billion views. See if I can find the video. You know what video I'm referencing?
No.
You don't know the panda sneeze?
Oh wait, yes I do. Yes I do. Yes
Panda
I do.
sneeze and
Yep.
scare his mother?
Yep. You're right. I'm sorry.
19 years. Holy shit, that video is 19 years old. I can feel the wrinkles just applying to my face.
Unk
That's
status.
25 years. Literally. Oh my god, 2019. 19 years ago. Does it not have the exact date? January 21st, 2007.
That's crazy.
Wow.
What a time to be alive.
That aged me horribly. I hurt. Man. If you have any animals that's an undomesticated that could probably murder you, but you want to love the heck out of it, hit us in the Discord. Let us know. Put it in the Gen chat. Let me know, or tweet at us. One or the other. I want to know. I want to know how creative you guys can get with animals that you just like want to exist in the same house as. I mean, giraffe, pretty cool. Reasoning, not the best, but still a giraffe. Can't argue with it.
Yeah.
Because why not?
True.
And can live in the backyard reserve behind my backyard. I did not read that correctly at all, but you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. That'd be pretty cool though. Like you have like a several story house, and you just walk outside. There's just a giraffe waiting for food, or you don't feed him. He's just sitting there, just bashing his head, swinging his neck at your house. Give me food. Give me food.
But fair. Anything else you want to add about our animals? Are we ready to wrap up for today?
All good. Let's get this show wrapped.
Well, with that, we'd like to thank you all so much. That's a wrap for today. Huge thanks to Alyssa B and all of our Patreon supporters for keeping the lights on. For those watching on Twitch or listening later, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, share the show, help us level up, help us continue to improve the show. Want to join our community? Jump in on Discord, follow us on socials, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, LinkedIn if you're feeling professional. If you want to rep the show, grab some gear from our merch store at boostoverball.com. Thank you for listening, and as always, remember to choose Boost over Ball. See ya!
Thank you for listening to the Boost Over Ball podcast. Make sure to check out our website, boostoverball.com.